Good evening. We present the news summary. Supreme Court Judge Elaine Carolus has today heard arguments on the two motions that VJ Construction Company Limited filed on Monday as part of a lawsuit in connection with the Savoy Hotel construction project. One of the motions is asking the judge to vary the conditions that it has imposed on VJ Construction Company Limited to secure the sum of 20 million euros as guarantee to pay compensation to Eastern European Engineering Limited, EEEL. The lawyer of VG Construction Company Limited, Bernard Georges, said that his client had not been able to raise the bank guarantee and has asked the judge to also consider other assets of the company as guarantee. The second motion is asking the court to grant VG Construction Limited permission to appeal against the order to pay the 20 million euros to EEEL. On her part, the lawyer of EEEL, Alessandra Madeleine, asked the court to dismiss the two applications, which she said have no merits. Judge Carolus will give her ruling on the two applications filed by VG Construction Limited on Friday, the 14th of August. As of January next year, all teachers working in public educational institutions will be monitored and assessed based on a teacher management and development policy. The new policy sets a standard for recruitment, deployment, development, and retention of teachers. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the 5-year policy last week. The Chief Teacher Management and Development Officer, Alex Souf, says with the policy, they expect to see improvement in the quality of teaching.
The immediate impact would be better coordination of the management, development of teachers, with the long-term impact, having standard in place, the impact, better quality of teachers we expect in terms of academic bagage, in terms of methodology, pedagogic competence, and in better performance by our learners. And hopefully they become better citizens of the Seychelles.
There's been a rush of would-be Coco de Mer growers coming forward for the chance to plant their own specimen. A joint conservation program run by the government and the Seychelles Islands Foundation is making the nuts available, but there are some strict criteria for would-be owners and no guarantee of getting a female nut-producing specimen.
Owning your own Coco de Mer was once a privilege for a lucky few like William Rose in Pralin. He has dozens on his property. Out of reach for most until now, the prized nuts are on offer to private individuals to grow for conservation purposes.
When I bought the property, I've been told there is around 24 female and 22 male. It's good for the property and it's also good for the country.
Up to 5 viable nuts per person are available for a 500 rupee processing fee, provided you have 10 meters square of the correct red soil type and it passes an inspection. But there's no guarantee you'll get a nut-producing female tree.
It's not whether it should be a female or a male tree, but just the tree in itself is a beauty. So I think that is already an additional value which one can treasure.
These trees were planted here in the Botanical Garden perhaps 120 years ago. This one here was planted 64 years ago by the Duke of Edinburgh, proving that size doesn't really determine age. And it could be up to 30 years after planting your nuts that you get your first crop.
Nuts that fail to germinate can be returned and swapped for a viable one, in a process that's being closely monitored to keep one step ahead of the illegal trade.
This is one of the reasons why it's always been hard for the ministry. But what we're trying to do is to have enough measures to check and verify, to limit some of the illegal activities.
The offer is already arousing more than just the nuts' familiar, if fabled, excitement and stands until the end of the year.
SBC has learned of the passing away of an active member of the Red Cross Society of Seychelles, Roy Nibourette. Mr. Nibourette has worked for the Red Cross for the past 20 years. He died this morning. He was also a former member of the National Assembly for the ruling party, United Seychelles. He was elected to the National Assembly in 27 on the platform of the then Seychelles People's Progressive Front. He was the member for the District of English River until the end of his mandate in 2011. This was the news summary. Thank you for your attention.